Close your eyes for just a second. I want you to really imagine this. You're hearing the rich, sensory sounds of morning fog rolling in through massive, dense trees. There are distant, echoing calls of exotic birds above you, and the gentle, rushing waters of a crystal-clear river right beside you. Well, welcome to this explainer. Today we aren't just, opening up a textbook. We're stepping right into the pages of Lokesh Abrol's beautiful travelogue from your first flight curriculum.
So let me kick things off with a question. What if I told you there's a place in India that looks so pristine, so unbelievably breathtaking, that people constantly compare it to Switzerland? Today, we're going on a cinematic journey through Karnataka's smallest, yet absolutely most stunning district. Get ready because you are about to be transported. Here is our travel itinerary and study map for today. First, welcome to Coffee Country. 2. The fierce Kodavu people. 3. Wildlife and high adventure. 4. Panoramic views and monks. And finally, Section 5, our CBSE board exam masterclass.
All right, Section 1. Welcome to Coffee Country. Let's step right into this world of rolling hills and mist-covered trails. Listen closely to how Lokesh Abrol sets the very first scene for us. He writes, "Midway between Mysore and the coastal town of Mangalore sits a piece of heaven that must have drifted from the kingdom of God. This land of rolling hills is inhabited by a proud race of martial men, beautiful women, and wild creatures." He actually tells us that 30% of this entire district is covered in evergreen rainforests. During the monsoons, it absolutely pours, but the season of joy runs from September to March. And then we get this brilliant line: "The air breathes of invigorating coffee." Coffee estates and colonial bungalows stand tucked under tree canopies in prime corners.
Now, let's break down some of Abrol's richer vocabulary to make sure we're fully grasping the magic here. When he says martial men, in easy English, that just means warriors or soldiers, or in easy Hindi, Ladakhu Yoddha. When he says this place drifted from the kingdom of God, he simply means it's a piece of heaven on earth, right? A Coorg Katokada. And those tree canopies that are sheltering the colonial bungalows, that's basically a massive roof-like covering made entirely of tree branches, or Pedon ki Chhatri. When we break it down like this, the imagery just pops, doesn't it?
And we really need to highlight this crucial word: invigorating. It means making someone feel strong, healthy, and completely full of energy. I want you to actually imagine taking a deep breath of that cool, fresh monsoon air, and it's perfectly mixed with the rich, roasted, energizing aroma of coffee. That is exactly what invigorating means here. It literally wakes up your senses.
Section 2. The fierce Kodavu people.
Okay, now that we've breathed in the landscape, let's shift our focus to the proud people who actually live in this piece of heaven. The author drops a fascinating historical mystery on us. Read this with me. The fiercely independent people of Coorg are possibly of Greek or Arabic descent. As one story goes, a part of Alexander's army moved south along the coast and settled here when return became impractical. These people married amongst the locals, and their culture is apparent in the martial traditions, marriage rites, and religious rites, which are distinct from the Hindu mainstream. The theory of Arab origin draws support from the long black coat with an embroidered waistbelt worn by the Kodevus. So, the text gives us some incredible visual evidence to back this up. The traditional Coorgi dress is known as the kupia. It's this beautiful, long black coat with an embroidered waistbelt. And the author points out that this kupia closely resembles the kufia worn by the Arabs and the Kurds. I mean, it's an amazing historical connection woven right into the literal fabric of their daily lives.
And a huge part of their identity is their incredible bravery. This brings us to the word valor, which means great courage in the face of danger, especially in battle. The text honors the Kodavu's deep tradition of hospitality, noting that they are always willing to recount tales of valor about their sons and fathers. Get this, the Coorg regiment is one of the most decorated in the entire Indian Army. In fact, the very first chief of the Indian Army, General Cariappa, was a Coorgi. They are literally the only people in India permitted to carry firearms without a license. How cool is that?
Moving on to Section 3, Wildlife and High Adventure.
From the brave people of Coorg, we shift the vibe entirely to high-energy action. The text states, the river, Kaveri, obtains its water from the hills and forests of Coorg. Mahasir, a large freshwater fish, abound in these waters. Kingfishers die for their catch, while squirrels and langurs drop partially eaten fruit for the mischief of enjoying the splash and the ripple effect in the clear water. Elephants enjoy being bathed and scrubbed in the river by their mahouts. The most laid-back individuals become converts to the life of high-energy adventure with river rafting, canoeing, rappelling, rock climbing, and mountain biking. Seriously, try to visualize the huge splash of that mahasir fish and wild elephants getting a river scrub.
Just to make sure we're all on the same page with these adventure sports and exotic animals. Rappelling means climbing down a steep rock face using a rope, or rasi se bahar utarna. Canoeing is paddling a small, narrow boat, choti nau chalana. And when the author mentions macaques watching you from the tree canopy, he's talking about a very specific species of monkey. It is a high adrenaline paradise.
Section 4. Panoramic Views and Monks.
Now, let's take a virtual climb up the Brahmagiri Hills together. Listen to how beautifully the author concludes this tour. The climb to the Brahmagiri Hills brings you into a panoramic view of the entire misty landscape of Coorg. A walk across the rope bridge leads to the 64-acre island of Nisargadaama. Running into Buddhist monks from India's largest Tibetan settlement at nearby Bailakupi is a bonus. The monks, in red, ochre, and yellow robes, are amongst the many surprises that wait to be discovered by visitors searching for the heart and soul of India, right here in Coorg.
So you're probably wondering, how do we actually get to this magnificent place? Well, the textbook provides a really practical fact file. If you're flying, Mangalore and Bangalore are your nearest airports. By rail, you'll want to look for Mysore, Mangalore, or Hassan. And if you're taking the road from Bangalore, there are two routes, but the one going via Mysore is definitely the most frequented. Madikeri is the district headquarters, and that is your gateway to all this lush magic.
And finally, Section 5. Our CBSE Board Exam Masterclass.
Okay, take a deep breath. We are going to seamlessly shift gears from being immersive travelers to locking in those board exam marks. What is Lokesh Abrol actually trying to teach us here? The core academic themes are all about celebrating nature's breathtaking beauty and the immense cultural pride of the Kodavu people. But the deeper message? It's about finding India's soul through its incredible unity and diversity. I mean, think about it, a massive Tibetan Buddhist settlement thriving right in the heart of South India. And of course, you'll want to master those key vocabulary words we've been highlighting: canopies, invigorating, martial, and valor.
Now, let's look at the expected exam questions. Based directly on the paragraphs we literally just analyzed together, you should be completely prepared to answer these. What are the Arab and Greek descent theories? What kind of high-energy adventure sports can tourists do? What animals are dropping half-eaten fruits into the river? And why is the Coorg Regiment historically significant? See, you already know all these answers.
Let's walk through the exact structure of a perfect board-ready answer for a case-based question. Let's say the exam asks how the author supports the theory of Arab descent. Your ideal answer needs to map directly to the facts in the text. You write, the author supports the theory by citing the traditional long black coat with an embroidered waist belt called the kupiya, which resembles the kufia worn by Arabs and Kurds. Bam! It's direct, it's factual, and it proves you know the source material inside out. Before we wrap this up, I want to give you an insider tip for your writing sections. When you are asked to write descriptive paragraphs for your exams, I want you to mimic the world building we experience today. Use sensory details. Describe the mist clinging to the hills and the energizing smell of coffee. Use specific action verbs, like kingfishers diving, and mention vivid colors, like the striking red, ochre, and yellow robes of the monks. That is exactly how you score top marks.
As we look back at the evergreen rainforests, the proud martial history, and the vibrant, diverse culture, we realize something pretty profound. Some places don't just become destinations on a map. They become unforgettable experiences that stay with you forever. That is the true magic of Coorg.
So I'll leave you with one final question to think about. Are you ready to completely ace your exam on the heart and soul of India? Or do you need to pack your bags and go experience the magic of Coorg for yourself? I hope this explainer has left you super prepared, really curious, and eager to revisit the text with a brand new sense of wonder. Keep learning, keep exploring, and I'll see you in the next one.